Number 8. Once a farmer found a serpent, a snake, frozen stiff. He had compassion on this snake, and so he picked it up and put it in his bosom. Soon the snake revived, it was warm, and it did exactly what snakes do. It bit the farmer. A mortal blow. The farmer was going to die, but as he was dying, or as he realized he was dying, he said, "It's only fair. I have helped a scoundrel." The greatest kindness will not bind the ungrateful. This is the best one yet, I would say. That is, some people can receive kindness and generous treatment, generosity, and never be truly grateful for these things, the ungrateful. This is interesting psychologically. A person who is basically insecure, and all of us are to some degree insecure. It's a great fact of life. It's one way, it's the best way I know of to explain a lot of behavior. The degree of insecurity that we feel. Often we're not aware of this. We're not aware that we're insecure in this or that way, only in the most obvious ways. But the degree to which we feel insecure will be shown in our ability to say thank you, to be grateful for generous behavior or generous words at least. But insecure people will not be able to feel that great gratitude. Now, at a more subtle level, I would say that a person like me, but most of us, I think, are kind of like me in this, are capable of saying thank you, of expressing gratitude verbally, but what we really feel is probably something different, is something a little less. Now, some people will resent kindness. After all, if a person is kind to me, maybe if I show gratitude, I'm saying, yes, I needed that, and I don't want to confess that I needed his kindness, his generosity. It's a confession of weakness on my part. The subtle nuances, a word Koreans use also, the subtle nuances of gratitude and ingratitude, resentment, even dislike, even hatred, the mixture of these things in all of us, and these are just words that we use to try to make sense of all this, the mixtures are so subtle that it's just one illustration of a general point that is a big point for me in my poem. The absurd notion that a person can know himself, the absurd notion of self-knowledge. Now, this was one of the, in Greek culture, in Delphi, the oracle of Apollo at Delphi, there were two great rules. One, know thyself. Two, nothing in excess, everything in moderation. And Socrates is said to have fully embraced this idea of know thyself, gnosis auton. I don't believe it. My Socrates was way too sharp a man to take a notion like self-knowledge seriously. No person can know himself at all, I think. A person who thinks he knows himself knows a caricature which he has made of himself and has said, that is I, and I know that self. But that self is different from who that person really is. That's a myth that he has created, and okay.